Hey everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Glad you could make it today, Tuesday at 7 o'clock PST every Tuesday. Um, how's everybody doing? Everybody having a good day? How about a good new year so far? It's January. Are you kicking it off strong? Are you getting those goals accomplished? Are you? Uh, I'm not really into resolutions and all that, but you at least got to get something going, right? You at least got to have some kind of plan, some kind of goal, even if it's bumpy in the beginning. You want to stay on track, stay focused, right? That's what it's all about. Here at Calibrated Tools and DIY, uh, we're all about tools, home improvement, DIY, like I said, and that's what we promote. We promote heavily the trades, especially the young people, right? Because we want them to have some sense of direction. I'm not a college hater. I'm just saying have a strategy if you go to college, right? Don't just spend, and get in debt and come out worse than you were before if you didn't go, right? So learning a trade, learning a skill is one of the best ways to um, make sure that you're not broke, not in debt, at least that you can feed yourself and feed your family. And yeah, you can make six figures in some trades, by the way. Yeah, quiet as kept. You can make six figures in some trades. Okay. So, guys, today I decided to talk a little bit about business. The title of this live is "Why Construction Companies Fail," but you could apply that to any business, any company. If you have a vision of having a business one day, or you're in a business right now, this live should be very interesting to you. You probably know what I'm going to talk about anyway. Um, but in any case, I found it pretty interesting um, why certain companies or certain businesses, you know, may not make it out the gate. Actually, most businesses take a while to get off the ground. To be honest with you, right? I mean, especially if it's only you and you're the spearhead, you're the founder or something, you're the visionary. It takes time to gather a team, a group of people to help you get off the ground because you can't do it by yourself. And if you are doing it by yourself, um, more power to you. But you can only go so high by yourself, right? You can only go so high by yourself, and um, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, you got to put time and hours in. Stressful. So, in my opinion, a business is not um, necessarily um, for you to be alone in. Okay, it's all about a team. It's all about community. It's all about a shared goal. A Everybody has the same focus, same plan, same mindset. So you won't go down the tubes as a business or getting that thing off the ground that you want to succeed. Okay, and success is different for everybody, right? You don't necessarily have to make $1 million. Maybe $100,000 a year is good enough for you. It could be 50 grand a year. It can be whatever, all the way up to whatever you want. But it's all about the time that you want to put in, dedication, commitment. Right? It's not about feelings. Oh, I don't feel like doing this today. You got to put your feelings to the side and just get things done, no matter how you feel. So that's one of the keys in making whatever you do successful. Um, hey, I'm working on it myself, right? I'm not always there, but just to be fully transparent, hey, it's it's definitely a journey, right? And anybody can attest to that who has uh, set out to accomplish something. Okay, so the title of this live is "Why Construction Companies Fail." Once again, you can apply this to any business that you're in. I'm gonna talk about some of the reasons they do. Some are pretty obvious, right? Sales cures all, right? Sales cures all, right? So at the end of the day, we could talk about why, but sales, man, sales. That's my whole thing. If you don't have sales, you don't have any revenue. You don't have any revenue. So, but even if you have sales, there are certain things that you can do to make to make it a very rocky road for you uh, as far as your business. So it's not always about the sales. A lot of people get a lot of revenue. Think about it this way, right? Somebody wins the lottery, um, and 2 years from now, they they're broke. Why is that? I mean, they had all the money. What do they do with it, right? Did they mismanage the money? Something happened. Most of the time, you hear that they did mismanage the money. How many stories have you heard about people that won the lottery? I mean, I'm talking about millions of dollars, and then 5 years later, 2 years later, they're they're broke again. I mean, it happens, right? Well, the same thing can happen in business. The same thing can happen in business. Um, so it's not always about getting sales and having a lot of revenue. It's what you do with it. It's how you manage the funds you do have, and all that stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's I did the research, and let's go down some of the lists of why a business may not make it off the ground, or if it did make it off the ground, it came back down. Okay, and then we're going to talk more about construction companies and stuff because it is related to the channel. All right. So why do businesses fail, guys? Can somebody tell me in the chat? By the way, come on in the chat, say hi, don't be scared. It's just a live, you know. I love when you guys come in the chat so we can talk about things. You guys can correct me on some things. We can have a back and forth. These lives are not just about me giving you a lecture or anything like that. I do the lives because I want to interact with you. Okay, 3 people in the chat. So I mean, in the watching me right now, and everybody else in the replay. Perry Good Life Notes, how you doing today? What's up with you? Everything okay? Glad to see you here. Perry Good Life Notes is always around, supporting the channel. And I appreciate that. And that goes for anybody that supports this channel. Thanks for getting me to where I am today as far as subscribers and all that. I really want to, say thanks and appreciation. I do have a deep appreciation for everybody that contributes to that. Okay, so back to why businesses fail. How about this? Not doing enough market research. Yeah. Okay. What does that mean? Can somebody tell me not doing enough market research? What does that mean? Well, how about this? You have a good idea and it's good to you. It's great. That idea is, I mean, you know, it's going to make millions. Oh, what Perry Good Life said, what am I clicking? Oh, must have been this pen right here, Perry Good Life Notes. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to run you off by clicking on this pen too much. But yeah, a lot of businesses don't get off the ground because the founder or founders think that it's a great idea that they have that's going to make millions of dollars. And they haven't done the market research, right? It's what the market wants, not necessarily what you want, right? So if you don't do the market research, the market, you may have a market for that widget or idea or whatever it is, could be a digital product that you're selling or want to sell, but is the market big enough, right? Is the market big enough, right? So you got to do that research. You got to do the research first instead of just jumping off the cliff and saying, spending all your money on manufacturing or building out something, whether it's in the digital world or the physical world, and you come to find out that nobody wants the product. Okay. That wouldn't be a good feeling. Okay. And I know what's his name? Steve Jobs said, people don't know what they want. And I kind of like that idea. A lot of times people don't know what they want, but if you don't do the market research first, don't follow that advice and just build something, right? If you build it, they will come. No, not in business. You have to build demand first. Okay. Matter of fact, I would say that you can. There's so many ways to test out your idea before you even build it today. Camaro boy 1212. Hey, what's going on? Hey, it's Romeo. Hey, Romeo, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Romeo. Romeo is a student of mine in the welding school. Good to see you, Romeo. Glad for joining. Yeah, Perry Good Life Note says you verify what your competitors have already in the marketplace. Yeah, smart business people do that. It's not always about inventing the newest thing. Most businesses just do what's been done already, but they may do it in a different way. It's really nothing new under the sun a lot of times, right? Because certain products and services the market is so big, it doesn't matter who the new person is coming in. It will never get saturated, right? And all you got to do is just go out there and grab your piece of the pie, right? Most businesses are like that. Think about it, right? Had an idea, Perry Good Life Notes, had an idea, and my friend looked it up, and there was several types already in the market, but not quite what you have exactly, right? You can take something that's already that's already out there, and just put a spin on it, right? Put a new spin on it. I mean, cars. How many times you like? How many times somebody comes out with a new um, clothing line or something like that? Clothing has been around since the beginning of time, right? But if you come out with something new, something catchy, it can be anything, right? So it's not always about looking for something that's so original. Sometimes the originality comes with how creative you are in spinning it, okay? And maybe even tweaking it a little bit. Hey, Claudette McCoy. Hi, I'm here listening, soaking it all in. That's right. Soak it all in, Claudette. So yeah, you want to make sure that that you have a demand for your product. Okay. Even if it's hasn't been out there, something new, test it out. Test. Okay. Don't get sucked into the trap or thinking that the the, the doors of heaven in business is going to open up to you because you have some brand new product. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares that you have a new product. New products are invented every day. Okay. But what they do care about is how you make them feel about whatever you have, whether it's original or whether it's not. Okay. I would say marketing is more important than the product itself. I mean, nobody cares about what you have, if they don't know who you are, right? If they don't know who you are, nobody cares. Okay. So let's see here. Um, all right. What do you think the next reason is, besides not doing enough market research, not testing the market, right? And let me backtrack on that. Okay. If you have a product, don't that you invented or created or whatever, it could, like I said, it can be a digital product. There are so many ways to test that product on the market, right? To test the response of the market without, in the case of a physical product, manufacturing thousands of units of that product before you test it. Make a couple of iterations of it, a couple of units, put it out there, you know, do your marketing on it and see what the response is. Then you can gauge whether you should ramp up production or not, right? That's the smart way to do it. A lot of us get into business and we just we make units, multiple units, I mean, thousands of units of a product first before we even know if anybody is going to buy the thing or if there's even demand for it like that. Okay. So that's another reason, right? Do enough market research, which means you got to test. You got to test. Okay, next thing, not having enough money. And we've heard that one of the biggest reasons businesses don't get off the ground or come crashing to the ground is because they run out of capital. They run out of capital. Guys, you got to have money, okay? Capital. I know people say, oh, you don't need money to make money. I get it. But unless you know people with, if you're someone who doesn't really know anybody, you have to have at least some seed capital, even if it's from a job you've been working, you've been saving up $5,000, $10,000 to at least get the product going, or get the business name going, get all the the legal stuff, the legal aspects of the business created. Buy a few units. You need capital. Okay, you need startup capital, right? And some people have connections like that. They have connections. They know people with money who trust them, but most people don't. Most people don't. So if you're going to get into a business, you want to make sure that you have some capital. Okay, capital that you can afford to lose, because you don't know how it's going to go. You hope for the best. I shouldn't say hope for the best. You're going to work as hard as you can to make it succeed, but you also have to live. And if you have a family to take care of, you don't want them to suffer as well. So you want to have some money put aside for that. So not having enough money, not having enough capital is a big reason a lot of businesses don't get off the ground. Let's see, what else, guys? What about this? You asked your friend now, who you've been knowing for 10 years, you've been knowing since grade school, to be to be a part of the team. All right. Or you ask a family member, you ask your sister, your brother, your father, your mother, because you feel you can trust them. Yeah, that's great to have people you can trust in your corner, right? But do they have the skills? Do they have the skills? Or are you just hiring them because you're too scared to hire a stranger, when that same person that's been close to you all these years can actually ruin your business, right? Because guess what? You're gonna give them more favors. You're gonna have more empathy for them. You're gonna have more sympathy for them, right? When they do something wrong, and they can, I hate to say it, they can take advantage of that, right? If they see that, and so, but it can work the other way as well. They can be highly qualified and really be an asset to your business. But you still have to vet them, whether it's a stranger, whether it's a family member, whether it's someone close to you, someone you trust, someone you don't know. You still have to have a vetting process. And without a vetting process, a vetting protocol, you can really end up sabotaging yourself, right? Just because that person knows you or you like that person, right? So um, you have to have some kind of process where there's no emotion involved. It's just, can they do the job or can't they? A lot of companies, a lot of businesses go down the tubes because of nepotism, right? Having unqualified family members running the business, okay, or friends or whatever, right? And that could be the downfall of business, but it goes on all the time, okay? So it's not always about loyalty like that when it comes to business, because at the end of the day, it's the business that matters, not uh, these ties that you have, okay? So, yeah. All right, let's see. Perigo Life notes. Compliance and regulatory issues left unfinanced will shut a business. They did not factor in when preparing to open. Yeah, that's absolutely true, Perigo Life notes. Man, navigating the world of business, talk about a maze, right? You got so many compliance uh, and regulatory issues, like Perigo Life notes says, that you have to abide by, right? The fine print, and you are already trying to, you're wearing like 20 hats already, right? You're trying to be the, you're being the marketing person, you're being taking care of legal stuff, or you know the finance person, all these hats that you're wearing, right? Sometimes you just don't have time to dig into the weeds of the compliance protocol that you have to follow in whatever industry you're in, or just even just regular tax preparation or tax laws that you have to know in order to stay compliant, right? Which means you're going to have money, capital, once again, to invest in people who are experts at this stuff, right? So you got to have money for that. You got to get a good accountant, good CPA, right? Got to have a good lawyer, because you might get sued, or you might have to sue someone, because we know in the world of capitalism, this is a very litigious society, right? And but sometimes you got to go after people, man, because they will steal from you. I know personally. Okay. So yeah, Perry Life notes very correct. Neglecting compliance and regulatory issues around your business, neglecting proper tax preparation and all that stuff can come back to bite you and really mess you up. Perry Life note, payments are expensive for taxes. Yeah, yeah, especially if you're late on them, right? IRS, like I said, the IRS doesn't play. And some of these other agencies don't play either. Like in California, they got the Franchise Tax Board, these state and local regulatory agencies as well. They have their own fees and stuff you got to pay. Out here in California, it's $800 a month just for your business, even if you're not even using the business or working the business. You still got to pay that. Okay. Budgets are imperative. Yes, absolutely. Learning how to budget your money, whatever it is, budget, not just your money, budget your time as well, is key, right? To why um, a lot of people don't get off the ground in business, right? They don't know how to budget their money. They don't know how to budget their time. Not to say you have to be um, so immersed in your business that you don't have time for yourself or your family, because that can destroy like your family as well. But you do, the way you get around that is to have the budget. You got to budget your money. You got to budget your time and resources. Okay. So very good, Perigo Life notes on that. Good points. This is why I like my lives, because you know you learn so much from the comments or the people in the chat as well. It's not just me here. It's a back and forth thing. Let's see here, guys. All right. How about this? Disagreements among partners. You ever heard that saying, the only ship that won't sail is a partnership, right? That's very true, and it doesn't have to be true. There are a lot of partnerships that do succeed, but but there are a lot of partnerships that don't, right? And until you're in a partnership that runs up against the brick wall, you won't know. You won't know what I'm talking about. But it's fine when everybody's getting along until somebody's not getting along. Okay, and I mean it's kind of like you remember you listen to these stories about these great musical bands from the past, right? And it always ends up that someone in the band doesn't like the other one, and then the band ends up disbanding. No pun intended. And that was the downfall of that musical group. That particular music happens all. Just watch those shows that talk about what happened to this band or what happened to that group. And it's always something happened, whether it's drugs, whether it's women, whether it was money. Usually those three that cause the downfall of a group or a partnership, because that's what they are. It's a partnership, and it happens all the time. And if you don't protect yourself, even in a partnership, that could be the downfall of your business, right? Because one partner ends up suing the other one, or one partner ends up having to buy out the other partner. That's just the nature of partnerships, because human beings are that's it's going to clash at some point, right? But if you know how to respectfully disagree with your partners, and communicate honestly with them and on a regular basis, have meetings so grievances won't build up over time because nobody's talking to each other. Have honest meetings with each other on a regular basis to resolve any kind of disagreements that may be building up in somebody over something, right? Because sometimes you can be around a person all the time, even you can be around your husband, around your wife, somebody really close to you, and they can have something inside of them that's building up and you don't even know, because they're not the type to just to say it. And then when it does come out, it can mean it can be a big thing and blow up and everything falls apart. Well, in business, that's even more dangerous. In a marriage, it's dangerous as well. But in a business, you're talking about big dollars that can be lost because someone, sues another person or whatever, or runs off with the money, or, all that kind of stuff. So that's the reason that's one of the reasons businesses, some businesses, especially partnerships, don't last. Okay. Yeah. So another one is, guys, marketing. I mentioned this before, marketing, right? You got to be able to market. If you don't market, you don't have any customers, right? You don't have any customers, you don't have sales. Without sales, you don't have any revenue. Without any revenue, you don't necessarily have a business at all. So that's why I said marketing is more important than the product. You can create a great product, you can have a great skill, you can have a great service, but if you don't have the skill of marketing, which is universal for anything, nobody cares, nobody knows you, right? So you have to put yourself out there. You got to put aside your ego, put aside your fears, all these big dreams of you having things, having money, having all this stuff. It can't happen without marketing, right? And it doesn't mean everybody's going to like you or your product. No, everybody's not going to like you or somebody, just people. That's not the point. But there is a market for you. But that market that's for you won't know who you are until you put yourself out there, put your business out there. You don't have to be the face of your business, right? But at least you need to have enough marketing materials being pumped out into the world where people know what your business is and what you do, right? Putting a face to your business, well, that's, or if you being the face of your business, that's your choice. Depends on what but you don't have to, right? But you have to have a strategic plan when it comes to marketing as well, just like anything else, right? You got to have capital and you got to have a marketing plan. And to have a good marketing plan with social media today, you can get on social media like I am, and just market the hell out of things, out of yourself, out of your channel, out of your products, your services. By the way, guys, I'm going to do some marketing right now. Go to calibrate.com, okay, and check out the products we have for you. We have some great tools. I'm building up the product line for you. Um, we have some good stuff. We got picture hanging tools. We got toolkits. We got roadside ready kits. Go down below, click the link below, and go grab some of these products. Okay, we got some good gifts, good Valentine's Day gifts for you guys. All right, so go ahead and do that. Support the channel at the same time. Really appreciate you. Okay, that's what I mean by marketing, right? Okay, but really, go down to calibrate.com. Go to link in the description and see what we got going on down there. Okay, yeah. So marketing, guys, you got to market yourself. You can't just be hiding in your house thinking everything's going to go well. Even if you get out there and knock on doors, that's a form of marketing. I used to be a magazine salesman back when I was a youngster, and used to knock on doors all over the country, you know, in all kinds of neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Now, let me tell you something. Doing that will definitely make you hardened to no. I mean, I've had guns pulled on me. I've had all kinds of things happening. Police called on all kinds of stuff. But I still made money doing it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Very good life notes. Before you open in writing, the operating agreement must have the what ifs, both the positives and the negatives. Yes. Now she's getting into some technical stuff here when it comes to forming your business, right? She's talking about Paragould Life Notes, talking about operating agreements and all this stuff. Like, say, if you have an LLC or corporation, these are the things that you have to have: operating agreements and so forth. And she said you have to have them in writing, and you have to have all the conditions. Meaning that she said, "What ifs?" Right? What if you do? What do you do in case this happens or that happens, negative or positive? Right? You have to have a successor plan in place, probably, right? So if you want to pass the business on to someone, these are things you should have, and you need to think ahead about. What if you make the first million or lose the first million? That's a what if. What if you need debt for short term and one partner hates debt? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I was just having a talk about debt a little while ago. Yeah, debt is a sticky situation. I mean, me personally, uh, before some years ago, I thought debt was the devil, because I used to listen to this guy named Dave Ramsey, and I'm sure you guys probably know who he is. He's a finance guru. He's been around for a while, and on the radio. And at that time in my life, I was in debt. I had some serious debt on my back, and listening to him actually made me get out of debt, because his whole philosophy is no debt at all. Get out of it. Work 2-3 jobs or whatever you have to get out of debt. Sell whatever you have to get out of debt. At that time in my life, I needed that, because it got me out of debt. I worked. I sacrificed a lot of things. Okay, I sacrificed some things most people won't sacrifice just to get out, and I got out in a relatively quick amount of time, depending on the in relation to the debt that I did have. And but at that time I needed that, right? So that was good for me. Later on, though, when I got more into business, I realized that debt doesn't have to be a bad thing. Okay, debt is only bad if you have no discipline, and at all with money. You don't know how to budget. Debt can be very helpful to you, right? And I know, if you're, there's that saying that said, the borrower is slave to the lender. I totally understand that, right? But you don't have to be a slave. The lender can actually be giving you a leg up in your business, right? Because what if you don't have Uncle Charlie to give you $100,000 to start your business? What if you don't have what if all the banks just turn you down for the loans that you apply for? especially in the African American community, right? Uh, Qualified uh, African Americans get turned down for loans all the time, and they're qualified. So they're dealing with another set of issues there uh, that a lot of people don't have to deal with. So it's a double whammy, right? You don't have the grandfather with $100,000 to give you, right? Because a lot of the wealth was stolen, and then in the African American community, and then you have the same banks and institutions that won't lend you the money either, right? So what do, right? Sometimes you got to go into debt. You got to finance it yourself. Unfortunately, in the community, there's not enough group economics or pools of money where people pool their money together because of unity, where somebody can go dip it in, and then people trying to help each other. Somebody you can go dip in that pool, pull out, and everybody's helping each other. In certain other communities, that happens, and that's great. But hey, it's a sad reality. I'm not saying everybody in African American community is not looking out for each other, but man, if you only knew. So so debt can be a great help, right? And you can look at it as that, but you also have to remember debt comes with a sense of responsibility as well. Okay, it comes with a sense of responsibility that you have to have. If you don't have that, then it can destroy you. Debt can destroy you, right? It can definitely destroy you. All right, let's see here. All right, guys. Let me jump into uh, construction companies. I know I kind of talked about um, just business in general and some of the things that can go wrong and cause the business not to get off the ground. But and let's talk about construction companies. It's kind of related to the channel, and I may have people that are in construction already watching, and who may have companies as well. Number one thing, right? And this applies to all businesses, not just construction. Cash flow, right? If you don't have enough cash flow, that definitely can cause your company to go down the tubes. Okay, if I'm talking about positive cash flow, okay, money that's just coming in, okay, money coming in, flowing. It's like water coming in, refreshing the system. You got to have that, right? You got to have that. Have enough positive cash flow coming in to help the business run. Because if you're struggling to pay for like everything you need, materials, if you're struggling to pay your employees, if you're struggling to pay for your marketing, all those things that keep the business running, they need, if especially if you're hiring people to do these things, market for you, uh, payroll, supplies, materials, they need to be paid for, and they're paid for with cash flow. And if the cash flow is not there, or if it's negative, then you can end up making some bad decisions because you're in a state of desperation now, right? Oh, I got to go get money from that person with a super high interest rate, I get all this other stuff, right? Or you may take on a job that's not even, it's not even worth it. You start taking on jobs just to pay the bills, right? That happens when the cash flow is not where it should be, and sometimes it's like that in the beginning, right? So insufficient cash flow, it's a big reason companies uh, don't get off the ground like they should. Okay, because like I said, you start making hasty decisions when you're desperate like that. Okay, another thing a lot of people are afraid to do is charge what they're worth, right? Charge what they're worth. So if you're not charging what you're worth because you have a heart for people, the market doesn't have a heart for you, right? You need to charge what you're worth. Okay, a lot of times the market says, okay, they don't respect themselves enough to charge what they're worth. That's kind of insulting to me as a customer. I know it sounds kind of crazy. It sounds kind of maybe backwards a little bit, but hey, a lot of times, uh, the market, they respect a higher priced item because they say, okay, the people that created this, or the company that created it, they respect themselves enough to charge this. They have enough confidence in their product. So it's kind of a psychological trick. I shouldn't say trick, but it works on the psychology of people, right? To respect or to revere something that is deemed a higher ticket item, like say a Ferrari or something. Like it's just a car like anything else, but look how much you got to pay for that thing. It's like, you know, and it creates this mystique in the psyche of individuals, right? And if people buy it, it's like a status symbol. Uh, and I'm not saying to overcharge people, but at the same time, don't undercharge. So don't undercharge. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. So a lot of times, a lot of companies are not realizing they're charging too little. Okay, and a lot of times they charge too little because they don't understand their overhead or operating expenses. Right? If you know what your overhead and operating expenses are every month, the fixed costs, and you're charging under that, that just doesn't make sense. You're operating at a loss every time you sell a product. You're losing money. Okay, so you have to make sure that you charge enough to cover everything, right? Um, cover if it's you're talking about construction, you know, you got to cover all the costs of the job. Okay, you got to make a minimum profit, right? You got to say, okay, this is the minimum. I'm not going lower than this as far as my profit margin, whatever percentage that is. And if it's there and you do all the numbers and it's under that, then why take the job? You're just wasting your time, right? Wasting your time, wasting your money. Okay. And that's another reason why you have no cash flow. Okay, because you're undercharging. Okay. Let's see here. Anybody? All right. Very good life no says true. Unless you got some emojis in there. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. It's all right. Like I said, once again, profitable. You got to be profitable, guys. You got to do the numbers first. You got to know what your costs are. If you don't know what your costs are, then you can't price correctly. Simple as that. Okay. Um, you got to be able to line up some jobs that are profitable. You know, that's where your salespeople come in, and the people that go out there and scout for jobs. You can't bring back these unprofitable job orders. You know, that won't do it either. You say, oh look, I got all these jobs, but are they profitable? No, no. In today's world of Google and the internet, you got to have a good website. You got to have everything that comes with that. You got to be able to drive people to your site. That's all part of marketing as well. All part of your marketing team, because everything doesn't happen organically. You know, you may have to pay for ads. You know, you may have to pay for marketing and all of that stuff. Like if you're in a construction agency, they got Angie's List, they got Home Advisor, they got Porch, they got all, you know, they got all these sites that you can take advantage of to get work. But it's about getting the right type of work, the quality work. Okay, the quality work that's gonna provide you a good profit margin so you can stay in business, a good cash flow. Okay, and you should be able to line all those up ahead of time so that you're not waiting for the next, like you finish one job and you're just sitting on your thumbs. You should be able to line them up. Okay, and just keep going, just keep going. If you Another thing, guys, you have to have your contracts in order. Okay, so when you're talking about contracts, you're talking about like estimates and stuff like that, dealing with the customer, all of that stuff. Okay, they got a lot of bad contracts out there. I mean, bad contractors out there, and you know, you may even deal with some bad subcontractors. So you have to have all your contracts in order, and so you can move forward, so you can protect yourself. I know all about that. Of being, uh, uh, actually, I had all my intellectual property in order, but when it comes to certain, I don't want to go there too much, but people will take take advantage of you. People will take advantage of you. Okay. So yeah, a signed, like a contract that's signed by everybody who needs to sign it, like a detailed estimate or something like that. That prevents somebody from coming back and saying, okay, it prevents all the he said, she said stuff. Okay. Um, you got to be able to trim down your staff, right? Sometimes you hire more people than you actually need, right? And you feel, oh, my company's so big, it's growing so much, and you're hiring too many people. Then you gotta lay them off, right? So you got to know when. That's another part of budgeting, how many people you need to have on staff, right? You don't always need a bunch of people, okay? Because employee payroll obviously is one of the biggest expenses that you have to pay. So you have to do the math and make sure that everybody that you do hire is going to help your bottom line, okay? Otherwise, if not, you just have these extra bodies running around where they're just going to eat up your cash flow, and you have nothing. You have nothing at the end of the month or end of whatever period that you have designated for yourself. So when it comes to hiring, you want to hire slow, right? Meaning that you want to take your time, hire the right people, not just hire anybody, and you want to fire fast. Okay, you want to hire slow, fire fast. I know some people saying like, yeah, well, that's kind of cold, but your business doesn't care. Remember, it's not about you; it's about your business, right? You can do it in a respectful way. You can have probationary periods set up for people to perform, and if they don't perform, they already know that they're probably not gonna be there. So it's not like you're hitting them in the head saying you're fired. But at the end of the day, you're looking after your bottom line. You're looking after your bottom line, okay? And all right, let's see. Barry Goodlino says interest rates will affect construction or I think remodeling. Yeah, absolutely. Interest rates do affect the construction industry. Definitely. Yep. All right, let's see. At the end of the day, guys, you got to be organized, okay? You got to be organized and everything. So, and this doesn't necessarily have to do with like construction or anything like that. It has to do with any business. If you want a sustainable business, you got to have, you just can't be the only one running it. You know, if you're running a small operation in the beginning, great. But if you're trying to grow something that's sustainable, that's going to outlast you, you got to be able to delegate. You got to be able to build it, and you need people to do that. Okay. So, and you need to be able to line up the right amount, the right projects. Okay, that can put you on the map. Right. You got to go after the stuff that's going to make you known out there. Right. Not the small stuff. You got to think big out there. Okay. And all your processes have to be transparent. And I'm talking about you can't be hiding stuff from your accountant. It's putting money over there because you don't want to. No, that stuff can come back to bite you. Okay, especially when it comes like to taxes and the IRS and all that stuff. You can't have with today's technology, computers and everything can be in the computer, right? You don't have to have sticky notes and file cabinets all over the place. I've walked into offices where that's what it looks like. It looks like a zoo. And the more organized and streamlined your processes are, your business is, the bigger chance you have of success. Okay, the bigger chance you have of success. So, guys, I appreciate you coming on today, and anybody in the replay, checking me out, checking out the topic today, and hopefully you got something from this. And thanks for coming on. Perry Girl Life Notes, Claudette, I appreciate you. Camaro Boy, Romeo, I'll see you there. Romeo's about to get his welding certification, by the way, guys. I know he'll get it as well. Very intelligent young man. So you stick with it, stay focused, Romeo. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate every one of you. And I'll see you next time.